Hello and welcome to the first part of my Division 2 Beginner's Guide series, where I'm going to be covering everything you need to know as a new agent. In this video, I'll be talking you through starting your first Division 2 agent. Let's jump into it. If you've purchased the Division 2 with the expansion Warlords of New York, as you choose to create a new agent, you'll be presented with a choice in campaign. I would suggest, if this is your first time playing through the game, to start with the main campaign first. Choosing to start with Warlords of New York will jump you ahead of the main story, causing you to miss out on a ton of content and the natural progression of the game. Once you've chosen your campaign, it's time to create your first Division agent. The Division 2 has plenty of options when it comes to creating a new character, with plenty of presets to choose from, as well as options and sliders to make your Division agent your own and unique. From skin and hair colour, neck, arm and leg tattoos, and a collection of clothing. When you start a new agent, there's only a few items of clothing to choose from, but don't worry, as you get into the game there's plenty of other items you can pick up in the open world, or purchase for apparel keys or textiles, which are both in-game currencies. Once you're happy with your agent, it's time to get into the game and play through the prologue. This section of the game is going to help you get used to some of the controls and core mechanics, such as shooting, making use of cover, and reviving allies. And after this, you'll get some cutscenes introducing you to the lore of the Division 2 before we arrive on our map, a 1:1 scale version of Washington DC. Before we go any further, I thought it might be worth taking a look at a few of the menus and options we have. I'm not going to dig too deep into this, but give you more of an overview. If you press escape on PC, or the start or menu button on Xbox and PS4, you'll open your main menu. From here, you can navigate to most menus in the game. Starting on the right from the top down, to begin with you'll find your clan menu. This may be locked for you currently, but once you join a clan, this is where you'll find all the clan info. Below that is the social menu, for viewing your in-game friends or managing the group you're currently a part of. Then you'll find a news tab, and below that the Uplay Club. In the centre from the top, you have your inventory, where you'll find your weapons and gear to manage and equip. Below that is the apparel menu, for your character cosmetics and appearance. Then below that is a store where you can buy items for both in-game and real-world currencies. And finally, on the right at the top, you'll find your progressions tab. This is where you'll find your progression through the game with collectibles, leaderboards and commendations, which is the Division's version of achievements or trophies. And below that is your settings tab, where you can find general settings such as audio, controls, graphics, accessibility and much more. If you back out of your menus, you'll notice the Division 2 in-game has a pretty minimal but easy to read game HUD. In the top left, you'll see your minimap with your current objective just to the right of it. In the top right, you can see your character's current level and XP bar that appears when you earn XP and fades when not needed. On your bottom left, there's a chat window where you can see in-game text chat. There are also plenty of options you can find by using the small arrow on the bottom right of the chat window that will allow you to toggle things such as items you pick up or earn in-game, damage numbers and much more. The bottom right is where you'll find group information. When in a team, this will show your teammates' names, level, skills, health and armour. As for your own information, when in combat or aiming down sights, you'll notice some extra information appears on your HUD in the centre of your screen just to the side of your character. The top bar, made up of small white rectangles, is your character's armour, and the orange bar below that is your health bar. Below that on the left, you'll see the ammo of the weapon your character is currently using, with the top number being the magazine size and the number below it being the total ammo pool for that weapon type. Each weapon type, such as assault rifles or marksman rifles, has a different ammo pool to pull from. To the right of that you'll see two smaller numbers. These are the magazines for your secondary weapon and your sidearm, with the top number being the secondary and the lower number being your sidearm. You can use this information to decide which weapon to switch to mid-fight. There's no point pulling out your secondary if it's got an empty magazine. To the right of this at the top, you can see your currently equipped skills. Skills are special tools you have access to as a Division agent, such as Riot Foam to lock enemies in place, a pulse to scan the area for hostiles, shields, and various ways to repair your armour. These icons can also show you the uses you have of the skill as well as when it's on cooldown. Most skills, once used, have a cooldown period where you have to wait before you can use that skill again. And finally below this, you have your current quantity of grenades on the left and armour repair kits on the right. When you take damage, it will first damage your armour, then your health. In combat, your health bar will recover over time, but your armour will not. You'll need to use one of your armour kits to completely refill your armour, or there are also a few skill variants you can use in order to top up your armour as well. Before you do anything else, it's time to head to the current base of operations in Washington DC, the White House. If you press M on PC, the touchpad on PS4, or the back button on Xbox, you'll open your world map, with the White House marked just north of you. Once you get to the White House, you'll see just how bad things have got in DC, but head upstairs and talk to the Division Coordinator Manny for some more lore and a bit more information on what you're doing in DC. Once you've spoken to Manny, it's time to pick your first skill. To start with, you only get to choose one skill, but eventually you'll be able to equip two at a time. For your first skill, I'd highly recommend going for the Reinforcer Chem Launcher. This is an easy and reliable way to heal your armour if you take too much damage and run out of armour kits. Once you've picked a skill, it's time to head out into the world. Opening your map will give you a quick tutorial on how to place and use GPS trails to find a destination. Then, it's time to head to one of the two in-game settlements. Settlements are civilian areas that you can help rebuild by completing missions and activities in the surrounding area. They also have vendors and some additional side missions you can collect. Once you reach the theatre settlement, talk to Odessa and you'll unlock your first story mission. And hopefully that's everything you need to know to start off your first Division 2 agent. In the next part of this guide, I'll be focusing much more on weapons and gear and taking a deep dive into different types of weapons and gear brands. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.